Some days were early. Actually, I guess we're right on the dot. Right as I said that, it became 8 o'clock. Oh my god, what's going on here? Bingo, bango, bongo. Happy Thursday. Well, good morning. This is Justice's Waiting Room, a daily live podcast where we discuss news and politics. I am your host. My name is Jared. What up, Cease, Bob, Kara, Stacy? I have to play this stupid game every morning. What up, TikTok? What's new? Hey, Cease, I said you're a fearmonger, and then the motherfucker started targeting ID and voter machines the same day. I was like, oh, come on, Cease, you're fearmongering. Don't do that. About that. Did what, dear? No, I did not. No, I did not. I don't have any. One of the things that you will figure out about me is that I want to do as little as possible to produce content. I just want to push a button and go. I just want to sit here and talk. I don't. I'm not trying to make money. I'm not doing hand gestures. I ain't doing no dance. Right? I ain't shaking my ass. I ain't showing tit. Ain't happening. So, Cease pointed out there's numbers next to your names. I think they rank you by how special you are. Before I got my first comment on TikTok, TikTok said some comments have been removed for safety concerns. Not mine, yours. Yeah, I think they've just been there for a while, Cease. It just ranks you by like I said, how awesome you are. I would think I was pretty good the first time, actually. So I want to ask slash tell. I'm pretty sure Project 2025 has the government using the 25th Amendment to dethrone Donald Trump and make JD Vance president. And the reason I say this is, well, I'm pretty sure that's what it says when I read it. And also, um, yeah, we are close to the weekend. Today is Thursday. Today is Thursday. I know it's kind of hard to believe. Feels like time's moving in slow motion. I have been feeling every hour for about the last, you know, you're here for the foot picks? Go figure. I'm sure Bob's swimming in foot picks. And if he's not, he should be. That's how we treat our friends. Anyway, hmm, 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 I think that they're going to use the Epstein files to. Oh, fuck, I was the foot picks. I didn't say Crush was providing them. I just said if he's not, he should be. Oh shit. See, these motherfuckers hate each other now. This is like a bad breakup. This is gonna get really ugly. We thing about it is we know so much more than we were ever meant to know about these people's lives. It's like a soap opera and it's stupid, but it's stupid and people are dying. Like, is this worth your vote? This is the real question I have. I mean, obviously, I don't even think that many people actually voted for this. I think there was massive voter fraud. Um, how's people leaving MAGA gonna help us? Well, hopefully with their vote and their right to protest and boycott and strike. And they should join union. Yeah, so see they count as an individual and you can count in many ways, right? So I think the priority is not so much on politics and it is on understanding why people voted for Donald Trump and breaking that down and understanding that Donald Trump made promises that no elected official could keep. He said he would bring down the price of groceries and gas. If you voted for him for that, you're a fucking idiot. There isn't an elected official that can affect the price of gas. Those things are determined by a board of directors who are influenced by many different things. But mostly, what I don't predicate my content on is being anti MAGA. Most of the people that voted for Donald Trump voted for him for what they see as legitimate reasons. Are they batshit crazy for doing that? Yeah. Yeah, I think given Donald Trump's fucking track record, I think no matter what your reasons for voting for him were, they weren't good reasons. He was a shitty fucking president the first time and oh by the way, he hari karied himself. That whole January 6th shit, do you know why it's so fucked up? Let me explain to you ding dongs why it's all fucked up. Okay? Do you know why Donald Trump is not like guilty of treason and fucking federal pound me in the prison? Do you know why? Because he was in power. When he what people don't understand is January 6th is not when you give up power. You give up power when the next guy gets inaugurated and he does the thing. Yes, I'm him. That whole shit, that's when the change of power happens. And so when January 6th happened, this is what's super dumb about all these people that died and like went to prison and like, holy shit, you fucking morons. Donald Trump was the president. He committed an insurrection against himself. He was still the boss. That's why Donald Trump's not in prison is because he was the president. He insurrected himself. Yes, that sounds incredibly stupid, Jared. Yes, and that's exactly what the fuck happened. And every day that that motherfucker wakes up, yeah, yeah, cuz he did that stupid of shit. That they will absolutely uh change the role of president forever because of Donald Trump. Mark my fucking words. The president should have zero ability or authority to make 99% of the decisions that are being made right now. Why? Because I'm a firm believer that when you're in charge, everybody matters. Every American is precious, especially when you're in charge of all of them. I said this from the fucking rip. If one person dies, if one American person unalives, Yeah, that's a matter of national security. If multiple people die, it's, oh my God, what are we talking about? If someone isn't an American citizen and they die on American soil, or if an American citizen dies on foreign soil, it is a matter of international security. So do you see how important every single fucking person is? And I think, look at, for example, a really good example of every single person is wildly important. Look at Kilmar Abrego Garcia. What a fucking man. Going through absolute motherfucking hell, being tortured in an El Salvadorian prison, CCOT, and living to tell the tale, and fighting for his freedom. My parents always told me, look for the helpers. You could absolutely pay all the attention to the man behind the curtain, or you could just help who he hurts, who he aims to hurt, knowing it's going to happen. So that's why we're here every single day, 90 minutes of my day. No ads. I'm not asking you for money or likes or follows or comments. I'm not here for your attention. I have a message. It's that fucking simple. You deserve better. You deserve better leadership. I believe beyond a shadow of a fucking doubt that there are less than 600 seats of government, and there are 600 people that are better prepared for that job than the 600 people in office. It's that fucking simple. And that we ought to be raising generations of people that are just better fucking people than like your elected officials are that fucking important. You inspire or depress a generation with your work. You either inspire or you depress them. You either make them realize that nothing fucking matters, or every single thing that you do matters, right? There's a reason we're here every single day, and I have no filter. Whatever the fuck comes up when we go to these fucking subreddits, I haven't looked at it. I didn't camp it. You guys get what I'm saying? This isn't something I fret about. I refuse to do that because you deserve better. You deserve someone that this is me sitting down at my computer for the first fucking time today. And what do I do? Since I'm just like you, I don't trust the fucking news anymore. But I can't, at any point in my life, I could not with the advent of the internet. So this is now 30 fucking years in the making. So keep that in mind, kids. I've been doing this for fucking 3 decades. Because of the advent of the internet, I gotta know. I gotta keep up with what's going on in the world. I gotta know. There's 8 billion fucking people here. When winds shift and the tide changes, it affects like massive amounts of people. And none of those people fucking matter to you because they're not in your goddamn neighborhood. That's what the bottom fucking line is. And until it's your motherfucking neighborhood, you will not care. But you will be the first person to come to me and say, I lost my fucking house. I'm a socialist now. Because I need all of the help that I can get. But right up until that fucking moment, you will be a capitalist. That's how this works. That's how your life works. You are part of a fucking system until the system breaks you. Welcome. If you look around and you say, man, maybe the US of A could be a fucking example to the rest of the world. Maybe we could try to do that. Maybe if we gave a shit about us, and we all had universal health care, education, income, and housing. Imagine what we could put out if Americans were untethered, right? Instead of tied to this place, what would they do? Now, obviously, they'll go and fight for Russia against American-backed forces in Ukraine. To be completely honest with you, that's kind of what I gather based on some part of the far right. They'll go join the fucking bad guys when they get money. So socialism gives everybody money, and what do you think 98.88% repeating of people are going to do? Get the gas, son. That's what the fuck 99.8% people are going to do. Is they're going to start policing their fucking communities a lot harder. And they're going to be saying like, "You know what? Corruption fucking sucks. Being a piece of shit sucks." But you know what? Being like a socialist isn't so bad, because all that guy said for every day on the fucking internet was being a socialist just means not putting up with racism and fucking sexism anymore. That's what being a socialist is. That's why it's so hard to get over the fucking hurdle. It's because people can't give up on their prejudice, right? It doesn't leave them. They hold on to that shit. Frequently, I am humbled, and I kind of laugh to myself, where I'm like, "Oh, the person teaching me a lesson here is a woman, or a person of color, or English isn't their fucking first language, and we're talking about sales, and we're talking about how your words impact what other people do." So yeah, I actually do think that instead of this shit and gestures generally, like look at this fucking regime, instead of this shit, what if we just all had healthcare? Cut the commercial, right? What if you didn't know what a student loan was? What would you have done? I'm not talking about me. I'm here. I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm asking you. What would you have done if you didn't have to get student loans, if those didn't exist? If tuition didn't exist? If getting accepted into a program just meant you met what other prerequisites they had? You could have went anywhere you wanted to go. What would you have done? If you can't look yourself in the mirror and say money got in the way of you becoming who you were supposed to be, then you didn't fucking dream. And that's on you, boo boo. I dreamt. When I was a little kid, I had shit I wanted to do when I was older. I did 99.9% of that shit not worth. Don't meet your heroes. But dream, goddammit. And chase some semblance of that shit. Or you're gonna fight it forever. You're gonna fight that shit forever. And how do you do that, Jared? Everything is so expensive, Jared. Well, you elect people who say, "You know what is way better than financing the military industrial complex and violence all over the world that makes us look like shit? What if we just focused on us? What if we just had a season of self-love? What if we just said, I think healthcare is bullshit. I don't think that you should sign up uh for healthcare and then be able to deny you that. I actually don't think that should work that way at all, ever. I think if you have it and you need help, you should get it. End of fucking story. And that shouldn't cost you anything. It's not your fucking fault. You didn't decide to be here. It's not like you pushed the button and showed up. Ba-da! No, you're not a minion. It's not how that works. I hope the sound effect was in the neighborhood of what I wanted it to. Ba-da! It, because it's like ta-da, but they don't say ta-da. Anyway, off track a little bit. I know that it's like Zeke said he won the swimming race. Maybe I am a minion. And I don't understand how, because if I get in water too long, I cramp the fuck up. And then I'm like, I was in the Marine Corps. Like, what the fuck? Me and you, we supposed to be like cool, and we're not. You know what I'm saying? I cramp up. You know what I mean? And I try to like drink water and shit. Speaking of which, anytime I have any amount of people watching me, and I didn't even look at the numbers today. Sorry. And so, yeah, instead we deported a 6-year-old with leukemia. Like, I just think that is so not what I would want to do if I were president. If I were president, I would be like, who deserves reparations? How about everybody? And some people get more, but everybody. First of all, I think we need to understand no taxation without representation. I think we need to move to. I think I'm gonna do it. So I looked at this point in the year. So it's what, like middle of July. It's middle of July. I've paid about 6 grand in federal taxes. Um, I don't know, but I think I can swing putting 12 grand aside if that's what it's gonna be. You get what I'm saying? And withholding my federal taxes until the end of the year. Now, understand, one of the things that I've learned is that things happen whether you do them or not. So understand that months ago, the federal government said they were going to be short. That's because people started withholding their money months ago. Okay? But I think when they start cutting services, oh, this is all I'm saying. All I can do is say your options are violence. Listen, violence costs people. We need bodies. Do you understand? If you aren't about that life, you're not useful to my movement. Now, defensively violent in response to violence. Hey, every dog's got a hunt. Will you sign my petition to make it illegal in prison for employees to quit without notice? No. Are you fucking kidding me? Fuck a job, fuck a company. Are you kidding me? No. They'll fire you tomorrow. You'll fire somebody tomorrow without notice. Why should we vote to make it illegal for people to quit without notice? I hope they quit on you without notice because you're doing that. I hope nobody ever wants to work for you because you want to have that much control over their body and what they do with their time. Loyalty is earned. You can't buy it. That's one thing people don't understand. The GOP did not change after Sandy Hook. That's what the problem it has been this whole time. Hey, I, I told you there are levels to this shit. TikTok is on some whole other shit. Fortunately, it was a small account. Yeah. The thing about Sandy Hook is that it was a rich white community. And if that doesn't going to change the Republican Party, I mean, if you remember, there was this prominent, I want to say it was Jordan Peterson that promulgated the white erasure, right, theory, where he was saying like because of mixed breeding, which is the fucking craziest way to say like people want to date outside of their family, dog. You know what I mean? Like people don't want to date someone related to them. That's what I think's crazy about wanting to live in a society where people look like you. Is like that's like saying I only want to go to a family reunion at the pool. You know what I mean? UTC agent said TikTok banned me yesterday. Yeah, TikTok is very hostile to me. Uh-huh. They suppressed the hell out of me for a while, but eventually we overcome them. You know, it's just how it works. You're gonna get suppressed for a while. Hmm? Think about it. In less than 90 days, my TikTok account went from 0 to 16,500 people. That's where we are now. But once I called out Cash Patel for using the FBI like private security, I have gone from 16,000 to 16,500 fans in 90 days. That's how my time on TikTok has gone. Now, do you think I'm unlikable? Do you think my message has changed and I'm not doing what I said I was gonna do? No, I'm actually bafflingly still motherfucking here every single day, 8 a.m. till 9:30 on multiple platforms, telling you, hey, Elon Musk and Donald Trump are fighting, right? That was the last thing we are talking about before I got a little derailed there. Where Elon Musk so eloquently said, so Donald Trump says the Epstein files are a hoax, and that means Epstein died for nothing, and Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison for nothing. So I think obviously, and again, that is exactly fucking true. The President of the United States says the Epstein files do not exist. That means that Jeffrey Epstein died for no reason, his best friend, and he's not freaking out saying, my best friend died for no reason. Do you know why this is particularly bothersome to me? My best friend died for no reason. That's why. Because I was on active duty in the Marine Corps Infantry, and my battle buddy, his name was R.J. Rady. Rest in peace, R.J. Rady. Died. It's very unfortunate. The Marine Corps medically separated me against my will 6 months after his death and sent me home with a bunch of money and a bunch of benefits. Thank you, fucking Marine Corps. I love the Marine Corps. I loved my time on active duty. I got hurt playing football on active duty. Uh, that's better than doing it in war. Let's just say it like it really really is. Oh, you got hurt playing the game that you grew up playing? Yep, the first time. And then because I was on active duty in the Marine Corps Infantry during a time of war, I wanted to be useful. So I didn't take myself, I don't know what I could have done differently. I don't take myself out of service. I don't know how that works, pussies. I just showed up every day and was like, fuck it, dog, I'll wing it. And I wung it, okay? But I kept getting fucking hurt. Same arm, kept getting fucking hurt. And I kept just winging it, dog. Like we've been doing our whole lives, is just hanging in there, dog. That's what we've been doing. Have we not? And then they threatened to fucking take that shit off. And I was like, nah, fam, that's not gonna work for me. I'm gonna need both arms. And you have me, and instead you don't have Greg Gutfeld. And I just will briefly touch this and keep it moving, cause holy shit. Uh, Donnie's the type of friend you couldn't pay me to have. Amen. understand that I do not stand to benefit from it at all, and that's why the Wounded Warrior Project would not help me in terms of RJ Rady. But my life goal, and I don't think we talk about it often enough, but my life goal is RJ Rady got an other than honorable discharge. They kind of like blamed him for dying on active duty, and I would really just like him to have a an honorable discharge given that he was murdered. So I think that's not a big ask. That is a little signature on a piece of paper to fix. But it's outside of what like a Wounded Warrior projects would help me do. And so obviously, if you're watching this show and you're a fan, keep in mind I don't ask for money. That's not what I'm here to do. I make plenty of that. In fact, how can I help you? That's kind of how I feel about this, right? Um, yeah, Zeke said Greg Gutfield and Jesse Waters, Fox and Friends guys, Scott Jennings, they all suck. Yeah, yeah. The thing about it is, I want all these racist motherfuckers to just get bitch slapped in public. Like, this is me, grown man, about as violent as I get. I want a racist motherfucker to get slapped the fuck out of. Like, slap the dentures out of your mouth type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not about beating somebody to D. You know what I mean? I'm not about pew 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 pew. Can't see my feed. Crazy. I'm not about that violence. But what I am about is smack the fuck out of somebody for being a racist motherfucker and call it out. That's the socialist in me, is saying I'm not willing to put up with blatant sexism or racism. I'm gonna call you out for the shit. I'm gonna not want to work for you. You have grossly disincentivized my labor when you show me that you're a piece of shit. So I just want to put this out there to every person that's a leader that ever gets a position of leadership. Let me explain this to you. Okay? Right up until the point they find out you're a piece of shit, they'll give you everything they got. There, I fucking there's that's leadership for you. That's it. Right up until they find out you're a piece of shit, they'll do whatever it takes. Don't break that. Everybody wants to be great. Everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to do whatever it takes to win. But you know when they stop? Once they realize you're a piece of shit. Ask me how I know. I coach sports. I watch kids. I look at their potential. I care about showing up and doing the right things and the necessary things. And the behaviors that I try to instill in other kids, it works. In kids, it works. They go to college. They try to find something they love and do try that for a life, right? If you ask your parents what happened to them when they were young, and they'll tell you, money got in the fucking way. I had kids, got in an accident, had medical issues, whatever, and I had to get a fucking job, get a check, and I couldn't go to class. And I've been dreading having to pay my student loans that I took out because I used. Think about this. It's just true, man. I blew through my GI Bill and turned down uh, VRNE, and it's still going to be cheaper to just go to school part time and continue to stay in the education system than it would be to pay student loans. So, in addition to withholding your federal tax, you should take six credit hours minimum to keep your student loans out of repayment. Um, and ultimately, you should do that forever. You should have a plan in place to just always be learning. Hmm? Take every fucking class they got. What are they gonna do? Not not accept you? If you're not taking a full course load, you're never gonna run out of shit. Hmm? Yep. And eventually I'll get an office. Eventually. And I'll just be like, oh, student loans? How much is that? Oh shit, I slipped. Oh, spilled whiteout all over that number. I guess it's just zero now. That sucks. Oops. Because I think that's leadership, is recognizing what are the problems. Do you know what the problems are? The problems are rent, interest, and tax. Your taxes do not serve you. Interest does not help you pay off your debt. And rent is ultimately what keeps you from owning a home. Mhm. But yeah, I love y'all, especially if you're a woman or a person of color or a member of the LGBTQIA plus community, or fuck if you're a white person tired of this bullshit. Been tired of this bullshit. Did never vote for this shit. Here's the one thing I can't condone. Are you ready? I can't entertain someone who ever voted for Trump. Do you understand? I have a line where it's this. If you saw Donald Trump ask for the help of Russia on the debate stage against Hillary Clinton in 2016 and you voted for that shit, fuck you forever. I hope you see this. Think about how awesome of a fucking friend I am. And that's a lot of people I fucking know. It fucking changed our relationship forever. I served in the Marine Corps infantry during a time of war. It's very simple. Russia put bounties on American soldiers. I don't know about you, but that's our enemy, dog. The President of the United States having a close relationship with Putin is problematic. Yep. Yep. It's not the worst, but it's pretty goddamn bad. You see, what would be a whole lot worse is if they were like violently hated each other, like they're on the verge of doing now. That's the problem. The problem is that Ukraine is tough as a son of a bitch, and Russia's getting their ass kicked, and they've been getting their ass kicked since they illegally invaded Ukraine. Slava fucking Ukraine. Every goddamn day. Oh, by the way, we need to post this. We don't post this enough. My friends started this organization called NAFO. You might check this out. NAFO and the fellas fundraise for Ukraine's defenders. Okay? Oh, somebody was gonna make me a T-shirt. Is that person okay? I haven't heard from them for a while. Somebody said they were gonna make me a T-shirt, and I never talked to them again. I hope they're okay. I got someone in Indy that's a screen printer. I can just go to them. Shit, those are like $8. But somebody said they wanted to do something for me and then disappear. I hope you're okay. Yeah. Hamburger bun pizzas. Dina, is that her name? Yeah, where's Dina? Is she okay? Notice that I'm concerned for her first and not about what she promised to give. You know what I mean? Like, she said she's gonna make some t-shirts, but I'm more concerned to like, is she okay? We gotta check up on each other and actually mean it. Not because I need something, but because I'm worried. The fuck? Bob sent me a basketball, Dina. That's why I'm worried, right? It's right here. I try to pump it up, by the way, and I think it might have been deflated too long, but that doesn't for me, that doesn't change anything. It's still probably one of the nicer things anybody's ever done for me. My wife did clean the kitchen yesterday, so Bob, I can't sit here the next within 24 hours and say this deflated child's basketball is the nicest thing anybody's ever done. My wife would kick my ass if she watched this show. But to have to if you can acknowledge that on the debate stage in 2016 Donald Trump asked for the help of Russia against when he was debating Hillary Clinton, if you saw that happen and then you voted for him, I don't fuck with you at all. I lost close friends. Close friends. I lost close friends to the point where I asked them, despite the fact that they voted for Donald Trump, I asked them where they were registered because they're having their child, and they didn't respond. That's where our relationship is because eventually they just know. Yeah, you killed our relationship. hmm And there's a whole lot of people that I know and once loved that have to wonder about our lack of communication. And I'm hoping that this is me looking you dead in the eye and saying your decisions are why we don't talk. And that's just it. It's that simple. hmm You voted to take away my health care. You voted for someone that is deporting veterans. A staff sergeant, by the way. Not the first time. Not the first time. He did it in 2016 as well. Do you know why? Do you know why they deport a staff sergeant of Marines when they're a Latino? Because they're wildly powerful. Yeah, that's right. I said it. When they're deporting a staff sergeant of Marines and they're Latino, it's because that person's a warlord. silly, silly goose. That person is a direct threat to the president of the United States. Hmm? According to Donald Trump's dumb ass. hmm And that's what Vladimir Putin told him to do. Because those staff NCOs in grunt units, if they're good staff NCOs, the staff sergeants keep them off the gunny's toes, right? From gunny up better be clean. That's just the way it works. Like them boys better be sweating voluntarily, right? But the E7 and down is supposed to like keep it all running, right? That's the way it worked in the fucking Marine Corps. My staff sergeants, every staff sergeant I met in the Marine Corps was wired the fuck tight, like just A1, like the person you want in charge. Jesus. Now I think I almost got frog in my throat thinking about them guys. Every single staff sergeant I met was like, "Holy shit!" Every sergeant, a lot of the sergeants I met were not like, eh. A lot of the corporals were pretty hot to trot. They were just a little green, and I was a lance colonel, so don't worry about it. I was an absolute nobody, which is hilarious. Which is hilarious. And worked in an office a lot because I was smart, like book smart. I work for Beyond Finance. I think it's actually funny. So we have a lender that is in house. It's owned by the same companies. Uh, a Beyond Finance, and the lender is called Above Lending. above and beyond. Yeah, I help people get out of debt. If you recognize the culprit, like large corporations, banks, you know, people that have a bunch of debt. Oh, I don't know what the shit that was. People come to me and they say, Jared, I'm overextended on credit cards and personal loans and student loans, and I need help. And most of the people I talk to, just to give you an idea of what a client of mine looks like, they're paying in excess of like, I'd say like 250. You're paying more than $250 a month out of pocket for your credit cards, personal loans, payday loans. You're paying $200 a month in interest. And you could probably just get out of debt in the next couple years and start over and do it right this time. And I'll teach you everything I know in the process. But ultimately, you don't want to declare bankruptcy. It's the worst. I hate it. That's just my opinion, man. And just not paying your for your credit accounts, they'll garnish your fucking wages. So hey, it's unlikely, but if you stop paying your credit cards and just let them go, they could sue and garnish your wages. It happened to me. Capital One sued me over a $5,000 credit card. That's why I work here. Why I work for this company is because in most cases we also offer platinum legal protection, where you could literally have an attorney go to court on your behalf. So the whole point is to negotiate your debt down and get you out of debt so that you don't have that hanging on your head. And think about this: when I say like if you're paying $250 a month, we don't charge each month. So we'd actually, one of the things that I've learned, like as I've worked there longer, I'm like, oh, we actually do this right the whole way through. We don't charge you a dime until we successfully negotiate savings for you and you start paying according to the new terms. So you are paying a payment, which is probably a reduced payment on what bottom line is, it doesn't matter if I'm saving you $1 a month right now. I'm getting you out of debt in the next few years, as opposed to like the decade or more it was going to take you to get out of debt. A lot of cases, it's way more extreme than that. So I always, when I'm talking to you, I'm being pretty conservative. I'll just tell you about a big ass deal, and you could be like, "Holy shit!" So I met a person with like $125,000 in debt, paying $2,500 a month. If they didn't do something, it was going to take them 40 years to pay it off and cost a $500,000. We reduced their payment by $1,500 down to about $1,000 a month. And they'll be out of debt in the next few years. 4 years is the term. Our fee is 25% of your enrolled debt. Break that down over years, and it's like a single digit percent per year, and there's no prepayment penalty, so you can always add more and graduate sooner. Now I'm just, the script is embedded in my brain. You're welcome. Yeah, we don't, most, 99.9% of the time, people do not have the good credit to qualify for a loan. And any loan you take on your to pay your debt off is fucking terrible. That's bad. You don't take interest on interest. You don't take out a loan to pay your debt. That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my adult life. But yeah, with what's going on in the world right now, I am absolutely using my platform to say 877-230-7106. My direct extension is 2729. Like, you absolutely, if you have $10,000 in debt, you need to get out of debt yesterday. You need to start saving. You need to start saving yesterday. You probably need to get a second fucking job. to be able to keep up with the increased cost of living. For the last 90 days, inflation has increased from 2.3 to 2.5 to 2.7%. Interest is skyrocketing. What does this mean for you, the average person? You got to get out of debt ASAP and you got to start saving because the increased cost of living is going to bite you if you do not do that. Got to get solar panels yesterday. Got to get a generator. With the way the weather is in this country right now, with the way, while we're talking about weather, let's talk about weather. Because holy shit, I found the most depressing subreddit. It's the surprise weather subreddit. I don't know if you've caught that yet. It's pretty much fucking awful. Obviously, they're seeing a surge of that shit lately, right? And then obviously, we're obviously supporting these farmers in California who are on strike. Good for you. I wanted to make sure we pointed out yesterday that Mike Johnson said that they should put everything out in terms of the Epstein list, and then voted no. By the way, we don't. Yeah, like I said, we don't charge. Fortunately, doing broken. Gavin's trolling Trump. Yeah, because you got to fight fire with fire, baby. Like he's a little bit of a wild card. I don't trust Gavin Newsom as far as I could throw him. But in terms of who I'd pick in a fight, I'm cheering for him. You know what I mean? That was a carpenter too. I think that was the first thing I ever got paid. Second thing I ever got paid to do. Well, no, that's not true because my dad didn't pay me. Yeah, the first job I ever had was on a construction site. Hmm. And I did not like, by the way. You know what I hated about a construction site? Rain, sleet, or shine. It did not fucking matter. Houses gotta be built. The roofers are showing up tomorrow. Like, ugh. And long hours out in the weather. Mhm. Yeah, I never told anyone this, but my wife and I quit smoking after her uncle Terry died. Um, my wife and I were social smokers that our smoking habit was getting worse. So I was smoking like a half a dozen or less cigarettes a day for years after I came home from the Marine Corps. I was just a little stressed from what had happened while I was on active duty because I felt like it was such a whirlwind. Um, Everything happened so fast. I mean, think about um, in October, November of 2005. Let me go back and make sure my time frames are right. October, November 2006. Okay, I was preparing to go on a deployment aboard the USS Bataan as part of the 26 MEU. Okay? That was October, November 2006. I was out of the Marine Corps 1 year later, against my will. I have an honorable discharge. Think about that. What are the fucking odds of that? Zero. I'll just fucking tell you. Like my story is just unlikely. There's a reason a reason I'm likely alien everywhere. I feel like a fucking alien. Get on here every single day and saying like sleep 8 hours, take a fucking nap, drink water, eat right, exercise. Why? Because your oppressors do not do those things. They OD on everything. They if you think their use of illicit drugs are bad, what do you think they do with shit like caffeine? And oh, by the way, what do you think caffeine causes? Rage. There's a reason that they stuff it in every active duty person's face, right? But my wife and I, when I we started dating my wife, we met her uncle Terry, and Terry was wildly successful and wildly popular. You talk about getting panties. Terry was single most of his life and was an active duty Marine in Vietnam for 2 tours. The first one was the bad one, but the second one, from what I understand, he was basically the driver for someone in leadership on the base. I wouldn't couldn't pretend to tell you who that person is. Okay, and he got out and came back to Indianapolis, and he owned multiple homes, multiple businesses, even owned bars. That was his thing. Is he loved owning a bar. Okay, this guy could have lived for 20 or 30 more years if he didn't smoke cigarettes. By the time that we actually got to sit down with him, I didn't want to smoke around him because he was toting around an oxygen tank and breathing out of an oxygen thing. He could barely breathe when he talked, and it made me want to not smoke. And he died when he was in his 60s. He died very young. In my personal opinion, Terry died way too young. And he wasn't like a great person. That's not the point. It's not like I'm like, oh, he deserved like some better life or something. No, like he just like here today, gone tomorrow. And again, I'm not claiming to have known him. That's not the point, the moral of the story. I'm very much like, you show me what the results of my behavior are and put it on another person's body, you got my attention. As soon as Terry passed, the cigarette lost its value. I hope this helps you quit fucking smoking. I'd hate for you to be still smoking cigarettes, trying to breathe out of an oxygen tank years from now. Can you imagine? I already have nightmares about it. C says, anyone watch the Lincoln Project? One of the things that I try not to do is I try not to trust a capitalist. And so no, I don't take in Lincoln Project. I don't take anything in where they ask for money at the end. If it goes viral, sure. But mostly, if you're a fundraiser, that's what you do. I'm not interested. That's why I don't really like fuck with content creators and shit. Yo, you trying to capitalize on some shit? I'm off it. I'm off it. I don't need no friends. Fuck them. People are like, oh, why don't you work with anybody? Because those people are trying to make money. You get it now? It's just me and you. The Lincoln Project, they don't fundraise. They're not. Are they a 501c3? President voted to defund public radio and broadcast. But yeah, if you're not a 501c3, you're a profit generating machine. Yeah, I know Lincoln Project is opposed to Donald Trump. But it doesn't matter. I would call out any mechanism in which I look at it and I go, what is its function? Does it serve as a fundraiser for someone? Just go to their website and take a look ourselves, right? I hope it's a 501c3, Cease. It's a PAC. So it's a political action committee. A fundraiser. No, see. All I'm for is calling things what they are. Lincoln Project is an American political action committee founded in December 2019 by moderate conservatives and former Republican Party members who oppose U.S. President Donald Trump and Trumpism. During the 2020 presidential election, the organization sought to prevent Trump's reelection and to defeat Republican candidates who supported him. Wow, they failed, huh? In April 2020, they endorsed Democratic nominee Joe Biden. From 22 to 2024, their efforts shifted to thwarting Trump's re-election bid in the 2024 presidential election, endorsing Democratic nominee Kamala Harris. Following Trump's victory, the Lincoln Project is focused on criticizing the actions of Trump's second presidency. They are worth $78 million. So, do you see? I hope you're able to see the money. They're a political action committee, they're a fundraising organization. Their cover is being anti Trump. It's a business. Call things what they are. They can be good guys and still be capitalists and call them what they are. If that said $78,000 in revenue, I'm on their side. Hmm. Yep. But when you fail and you make 78 million, hmm, what was its purpose again? I'm just not a capitalist. That's how it works. I look at things through a different lens. How do you have 40 staff members and you're worth $78 million and you don't have 40 millionaire staff members? Why? How? Because I'm willing to bet it's very top heavy. I'm willing to bet uh, somebody's making a lot of money off this. George Conway, Steve Schmidt, John Weaver, and Rick Wilson specifically. I'm willing to bet you they're pocketing 40 million. It's okay to be critical of people that you see as an ally and say a lot of people put a lot of time, money, and energy into the Lincoln Project, whose objective was to thwart Donald Trump's presidential bids, and they failed. They failed and raised $78 billion. $78 million. Sorry. It would be a much, much bigger problem if they made 78 billion. That would be much worse. So, again, you just call things what they are. It's no big deal. Yeah, yeah. Good. I'm glad you don't give money. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. So here's the thing about me. Once I started making stuff, I stopped watching a lot of shit. Because one of the things that you don't catch me doing is defending. You get what I'm saying? I'm just saying what's real. This is the real thing, right? Like when we talk about. See this shit? When the right people are in power, these people straight up lose their job for this shit. Insubordination, like if your job is public facing and you refuse to do that, you should just be fired. Instead, this regime will like cover for people, right? Yeah, for facts. I mean, there's a reason why I stopped asking for money is because I didn't like how I felt having to have ask my community for help. Um, and I appreciate your help, by the way. I hope I say it often enough that if it wasn't for my community, it would have been a very cold winter, and man, it would have been real rough if it hadn't been for the help of the community. But I felt so shitty afterwards, having asked for the help of my community, not because of anything else that you know. Before that, no one had ever helped me ever. The only person I'd ever relied on is my spouse, and my mom had been reliable historically. However, comma, she voted for this shit openly. So that'll strain your relationship. And I realized after we had a rough winter and the community helped us, and I thank you, and we were able to get back on our feet and shit, that I'm not a capitalist, that I'm not seeking to capitalize off of our time. That's how much it means to me. Could it make money? Could we get some spins? Bro, we could get some spins. But what I learned a long time ago is if you care about those spins and those spins need to make ends, then you're probably in the wrong boat. Just saying. Because my wife, she cracked a little bit. Recently, she asked me, how come, how come you don't post links to pay you on your show or show ads? Because that doesn't serve you, the community. You don't need to. You don't need to see to whom I'll bend my knee. You get it? Like you don't need to see who's impacting my content because nobody is. Nobody is. There's not a single person in this community that is feeding me content because that's not what we're doing. That's not what we're here for. You gotta reset every now and then. YouTube trips out. Because one of the things I told my wife was, I'll push the button and we'll try to make money, but here's what I'll tell you. You're gonna be fucking disappointed with the amount of effort that you put in versus what you get out of it. And once you realize that you have a threshold at which you would determine your wealth is not worth your energy, like what you're getting out of something is not worth the energy you put in it, and you would say, then what is the correct thing to do, right? Well, the correct thing to do is to produce this podcast as cheap as possible. Not paying guests, not begging for follows and likes and comments. I'm not doing that shit. I'm not asking you for money. I'm not playing ads. Because I'm not a fucking capitalist. Not everything I do in this life I have to capitalize off of, or it is not worth my time. And the problem is that I was not raised that way. I had to find the fuck out the hard way that some things are absolutely worth your time. I'm just sorry we didn't start sooner. So we could show these disloyal motherfuckers how to ball, right? And show these people that are profit seeking. I'd rather just be a prophet. And again, I'm saying that kind of lighthearted, not a. I'd rather just tell you that your tax dollars would be better spent invested in you and your community, and that it's going to take you rising up in your community and deciding, what if a smart person that just cared about other people ran for public office? Do you think that's probably better than the Zionist or the fascist? Because those are generally going to be your options moving forward. And I think it's time America had a socialist party, a pro equality, pro union, pro worker, pro people party, aiming for everyone to have universal health care, education, income, and housing. To make actual change within our government. Yeah, there are. There are a lot of people that you could be watching, but you're here with me. Because I don't have an agenda. That's not to say I won't develop one. But we already know what my agenda is going to be. One day, you're going to start seeing links for the American Socialist Party where you can go and donate. And understand that once I have that for you, all we'll be doing is trying to hit the next fundraising metric. That's it. I'm just trying to hit a goal. 5K, 10K, 15, 20. Just so we can say, if we see a race, let's say Zohran Mamdani, and we want to make sure that we support Zohran Mamdani versus Andrew Cuomo, because we want to make sure that someone that we can work with, right? Not someone that's BB's attorney as he fights ICE, Andrew Cuomo, right? And we want to make sure that moving forward, we have people across the aisle, people that aren't part of the American Socialist Party, that are DSA members, that we shake their hand. We shake hands. And we work with them. It's easy to work together. Why aren't we just DSA members? Because the DSA has been in existence for like 40 years and has less than 100,000 members. Clearly, we can just do better. We deserve a living founder, right? That's what I think of myself, right? A living founder. Somebody with actual ideals, right? With that is present every day, 90 minutes a day, very public, sits in front of you, talks about what's going on in the world, right? But here's the crazy thing about just even thinking about Zoran Mamdani's costs, like operating costs, security. That man needs security, a lot of it. He's going to be heavily sought after. Let this show be your daily reminder that the Ayatollah in Iran issued a fatwa on Donald Trump for $40 million and climbing, apparently. Hmm. Let's see. I'm trying to wait to get back to nationwide map. Guess we just have to kind of pay attention back and forth. Have a great day, Kara. I think this was the last story I saw before I went to bed last night, and I was like, all right, I'm going to bed. Fuck all this. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. For a moment there, I was like, oh my god, but yeah, Donald Trump did that shit to himself. ICE arrests a Iranian chiropractor outside his kid's Beaverton preschool. Marks the first confirmed case of an immigration arrest at an Oregon school amid the Trump's administration's immigrant crackdown. Historically, certain locations, including schools and houses of worship, have been largely off limits to immigration enforcement. He married a U.S. citizen, and his U.S. citizen wife filed a green card application for him. He attended his green card interview with his wife, and they were just simply waiting for the green card to come through. Yeah, so I'm just walking you through this, okay? Marine Corps infantry during a time of war, okay? Randy Cornfield said he was dropping his grandson off at the South Beaverton Montessori School around 8:30 a.m. when he noticed an armed officer walking outside the building and an unusual number of large SUVs in the parking lot. As he got his grandson out of the car, Cornfield said he saw a school employee confront one of the officers asking to see his badge number. He just coldly said, "This has nothing to do with you, so back off." I would have had my phone out and recording while I dial 911, immediately. Right there. Oh, you want to be the main character? Okay. Here you go. Here's all that fame and fortune you. Oh, there's no fortune. Oh, your wife just leaves you. Oh, that's why you're wearing a mask. Because you're not proud, boy. Yeah, you ever noticed they're called the Proud Boys, but they're always hiding their faces when they meet in large groups in public and walk together. That doesn't sound like white and scared. Remember, the founder of the Proud Boys isn't white. Just want to point that out. Got y'all out here goose stepping. But I want to point out from now on, if you hear something along the lines of, this has nothing to do with you, so back off. If I'm you, fight or flight probably kicked in there, and what I'm saying is document and call the police. If someone is heavily armed and you see someone say, "Hey, can I see some ID?" I'm gonna need to see a badge. Like, what the fuck? You're at a school? And they say, "This ain't about you, back the fuck off." Oh, it's one of you record him and one of you call 911. See, what happened is we're in the digital era, okay? And the powers that be do not understand statute of limitations. If it is violent at all, there's no statute of limitations. So what these people are not thinking about is what happens when Donald Trump's no longer in power. An era of accountability will follow. Hmm? So let every ICE agent know. I hope it's worth you losing your family. So instead of that energy, I hope you get what you voted for, which I don't have, right? Because I'm an empath and I don't look at people that are suffering and I go, "Wait, who'd you vote for?" Up, you deserve that shit, right? And also for the record, one of the things that I hate is uh, I saw zero pieces of content saying that those children in Texas that are missing and unalive, that they deserved it. Jesus, Lisa. Not a single person that I saw, that I follow, said all them kids deserved it because of who their parents voted for. But you know what I did see? A bunch of bottom of the barrel bait content creating motherfuckers saying, "Let me catch another motherfucker saying them kids deserve it because of who their parents voted for." That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my adult life because I didn't see anyone say that. I'm telling you, I didn't see anyone say it. So why the fuck are we making content saying that? Oh, you dreamt up a scenario. That's cute, weird, and telling. Given the breadth of creators that were making it, it was like, oh, so you were thinking that, right? If here's surprising to no one, if we don't know each other, don't try to hop on the stick. That's not gonna work. Okay. But yeah, we got to get two people. Back in the day, you just needed one person to call 911, one person to perform CPR. Now we need three. So we just need to uh, move together. I prefer if you stayed at least 6 meters apart, but move together. You don't want to be herded. 6 meters is about 20 feet, y'all. See, if you're gonna, this is why you don't unalive yourself, because you could go out like this. Okay. Okay, here's your weather report. God damn it. Hmm. Kansas City and surrounding area, y'all are getting some shit. The western part of the United States is still on fire. That's not all though. Bang. Bang. Oh, son of a bitch. It keeps backing out and going back in. But yeah, fire in the west, rain in the middle. Please pay attention to the weather. Remember how those Iran airstrikes were so good? Oh, what was the answer, buddy? Will local officers help the citizen? It depends. So, what we are seeing is if somebody shows up somewhere masked, armed, and doesn't produce a badge and isn't just like, here's my badge, here's the warrant, if that's not their behavior, call the police and say, look, somebody's impersonating an officer. Like, there are one, two, three, four SUVs, right? Like, no, Fourth Amendment, unreasonable search and seizure. Understand that if you are a woman or a person of color, member of the LGBTQIA plus community, and any of this and ICE in any way interacts with you negatively, it's almost definitely profiling. Yeah, right. Allison, I can almost assure you that answer is yes. All right, there it is. Yeah. Uh, that looks almost entirely like Louisiana and Mississippi. You are fucked. And the panhandle is going to get some rain. Florida, that whole southeast part of the country, look out, y'all. I see floods though in the Midwest slash Northeast. So southern Ohio, eastern Kentucky, the entirety of West Virginia, the western part of Virginia, northwest North Carolina, northeast Tennessee. Y'all are under flood watch. There's rain along the coast, New York and Boston, but yeah, the entire left coast is baby, you're so hot, you're on fire. It looks like there's precipitation in southern Nevada and northern Texas. And by the way, Topeka, motherfucking Kansas, Kansas City. Do not lose your life today if you live in Kansas City. That's silly. Or Topeka. Sorry. Um, aren't they vertical? Isn't it like Topeka, Kansas City? They're like north south. I'm wrong all the time. Hi, my name is Jared. Um, but yeah. By the way, it says Gulf of Mexico on Ryan Hall's shit. In case anybody wondered. I think that's subtle enough for me. Yeah, I am not a weather person. Like when I say like the left coast is on fire, what the fuck does that mean, Jared? Well, it means that they're in a drought, and it's also hot as fuck. so you're fucked. And then obviously Kansas City. Or not Kansas City, but like Kansas. Oh my god. And then what is straight east of Kansas? Mis- Missouri. Yeah, they're right next door. Yeah, y'all are fucked too. And then this whole splotch of country over here on the left, on the right coast, your shit's underwater, bro. Like, if you live in West Virginia, why? Why? That entire state is under flood warning. I'm afraid it's just going to get carried away. That said, I love y'all. Take care of yourselves. Floods are fucking crazy. Have a great day. Hey, look, we went 90 minutes and didn't get banned on TikTok. Look at us. Look at us. Are we getting suppressed? Like a motherfucker. What are you even talking about? It's over. Yeah.